Hello friends, welcome back to Devananda OIFS Junior, and today we are looking at our 4th physics class. Okay, and in the last class we discussed about these MCQ type questions. Okay, the multiple choice questions, and today we are looking into the long answer type questions. Okay, so these questions are really important. Okay, and they carry more mark. Okay, and the first question we are going to discuss is what is matter. Okay, the definition for the word matter is asked in many exams. Okay, what is matter? The definition is anything that has mass and volume is called matter. Okay, so this is the definition for the word matter. Anything that has mass and volume is called matter, and sometimes you may get a tail end to this question. Okay, give its two properties, give the two properties of matter. And what should you write? You should write matter, put a hyphen and give a bulletin point. Matter has mass. That is its first property. And the second property, matter has volume. Okay, so these are the two properties of matter. And if the question is what is matter and give the two properties of matter, if these two questions are given in a single question, okay, what if these two questions are merged into one question? You should write this definition as well as you should write it like this. Okay, then only you will get the mark. You should write the definition and you should write the properties like this. Okay, not just any one. Okay, so this is how you can answer this question. And let us look into the next question. Next question. How is the cohesive force dependent on the interparticle space? Okay, intermolecular space and interparticle space both are the same. Okay, so how is the cohesive force dependent on the interparticle space? You know that solids have the least interparticle space and the largest cohesive force. So what can you say from this? The smaller the interparticle space, the larger the cohesive force. So how do we answer this question? First of all, we need to write that the interparticle space is inversely proportional to the cohesive force. The interparticle space is inversely proportional to the cohesive force, means opposite. Usually when something increases, the other quantity also increases. For example, the money a shopkeeper gets when he sells books. Okay, for example, a shopkeeper sells 10 books and he gets 100 rupees, for example. And when he sells 15 books, the amount he gets will increase, right? It doesn't decrease. So this is said to be in direct proportion. When one quantity increases, the other quantity also increases. But here it is inverse proportion. What is inverse proportion? If we have a lot of workers, okay, for example, we have a lot of workers, then the time taken will be less, right? For example, I need to dig a hole, and for me alone to dig that hole, it takes 1 hour. But what if there are 60 workers including me? The time taken will be less, right? So as the number of workers increase, the time taken will be less. So this is the inverse proportion. And here what happens, as the interparticle space gets smaller, cohesive force gets larger. So next we need to explain this. So put a comma and write that is, we are explaining, that is the smaller the interparticle space, the larger the cohesive force, vice and versa. We need to write like this. The meaning is, that is the smaller the interparticle space, the larger the cohesive force, and vice versa. Means if the interparticle space is really small, the cohesive force will be large, and vice versa means just the opposite. Means instead of writing vice versa, you can write, and the larger the interparticle space, the smaller the cohesive force. Vice versa just means the opposite. Okay, just the opposite. In physics, you may see this word in many answers. Okay, vice versa just means the opposite. Okay, and here vice versa means the larger the interparticle space, the smaller the cohesive force. Okay, so this is the complete answer to this question. The next question. Differentiate between the three states of matter. Okay, and this question you need to answer according to the marks. If this question comes as a 1 mark question, you need to write 2 points. Okay, any 2 points. You can just write like this. For example, this is solids, liquids and gases. Okay, if it is a 1 mark question, you put the first bullet point and write solids. Okay, and the next point you will write. So for this answer, you won't get 1 mark. Always in differentiate type questions, if you can, write the examples. Okay, so the third point, you need to write the examples. For example, solids, you can write book, ice. Okay, next liquids, example oil, water. Next gases, you can write example neon, steam. Okay, so these are gases. So for this answer, you will get 1 mark. Okay, 2 points and the examples. And what if it is for 2 marks? 2 marks. Along with the examples, here you need to write how many points? You need to write 4 points. Okay, here you need to write 4 points. 4 points. So what can you add? Here we already have as a fixed shape and fixed volume. And next we can speak about the intermolecular space and the intermolecular force of attraction. So in solids we will say the least intermolecular space. Liquids, more intermolecular space when compared to solids. Gases, the maximum intermolecular space. And next, the intermolecular force of attraction, the cohesive force. Solids, maximum cohesive force. Liquids, lesser cohesive force when compared to solids. And next, gases, the least cohesive force. Okay, so now along with the examples, if you write this much, 4 points and the examples, you will get 2 marks. Okay, and next, this is the maximum, 3 marks. 3 marks. And this is the maximum. For this question, the maximum marks that can be given is 3. And for 3 marks, you need to write the maximum you know with the minimum number of points being 6. You need to write at least 6 points. Okay. And if you have more points, just add it as well. Okay. So if the question is for 3 marks, then add 6 points and the examples. So along with these 4 points we already discussed about, what other points will you add? We need to add 2 more points. right? We need to add 2 more points to make a total of 6 points. First of all, we can write solids cannot flow. Next, liquids can flow, gases can flow. Okay, about fluidity we wrote. Okay, and next we can write about compressibility. Solids, they cannot be compressed. Liquids can be compressed to a very small extent. Gases, they are highly compressible. And this is the minimum. And you know one more point, right? About the container. Solids, they do not need a container to be stored. Liquids need a container to be stored, while gases need a closed container to be stored. And now you will get the total of 3 marks. Okay, you will get 3 marks for writing this much, and the minimum number of points you need to write for a 3-mark question is 6, along with the examples. The examples carry marks. Okay, and if you miss writing the examples, the mark will not be given. Okay, so that was this question. And next, let us look into the last question. The last question is, show the interparticle space between the 3 states of matter diagrammatically. So when this word comes, diagrammatically, you need to draw. Okay, you need to draw, and you need to show the interparticle space. And to represent the interparticle space, you need to draw the particle model. So first of all, you will write solids, and you will draw a small rectangle and draw like this. Okay, with each circle really close to each other, and this is going to represent the interparticle space for solids. And next we have liquids. We need just a bit more interparticle space, but not that much as gases. So we will draw like this. Okay, so you should draw like this. So this is the particle model for liquids. And at last we have gases. Gases can draw like this. Okay, this is enough for gases. Okay, the maximum intermolecular space. Okay, so this is the interparticle space between the 3 states of matter in a diagrammatic form. Okay, so this is the answer, and mostly this comes as a 3-mark question. Okay, this is mostly a 3-mark question, and this is how you should answer. And a tip for you, when it comes for your exams, don't draw a large box and sit and waste time drawing circles. Okay, don't draw a large box, just adjust to a small box, and that is going to be easier for you. Okay, and don't use very small molecules. Okay, a bit larger one will be useful. Okay, just make these circles a bit larger. Okay, and that is also going to be really useful. For example, if you are making such big box and using these small molecules, you will take a lot of time to make the particle model for solids. But if you draw same size box and use larger molecules, it is going to be easy for you. Okay, you can just draw this much and say that this is the particle model for solids. So this is much easier and time saving, but this is time consuming. So don't draw like this, use this method. Okay, with larger molecules and smaller space. Okay, so that's it for today. We just discussed some long answer type questions in today's video. So that's it for today. Thank you. Bye.